everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Lollygaggers Dynasty Recap, and welcome to the 2026 season. It is so good to be back. I could not be happier. We just finished up with the expansion draft, which was explosive, to say the least. I think there were some big surprises in there. Ace and I are going to be getting together soon to recap the expansion draft, recap the first-year player draft once it's finished, and just a few of the other changes from the offseason as kind of a primer to get into the 2026 season. But before we do that, there is something that needs to be revealed. As you all remember, each of us spent some time deciding on a team location and name as the identity of our, quote-unquote franchise for our Dynasty League. So on the pod today, I will be revealing each team's name, the city where that team is, again, quote-unquote located, the abbreviation that will be used for their team in Fantrax, and just a little bit behind an explanation of how the manager chose that name. So we'll just be going down the list alphabetically. Obviously, we've got 14 with our 14 teams here, and we will actually be starting off with one of our expansion teams. Of course, welcome to the league, Min. It's great to have you. We're so glad you're here. It felt a little off, not having you in a fantasy league last year. So we're glad you're here, and welcome, Min, manager of the Arctic Real Survivors. That is our first team, of course, hailing from the Arctic with the team name, the Real Survivors. The abbreviation for this team is ARS. You will notice that all these abbreviations, before we jump in, I do just want to mention are just 3 letters, like our MLB ones, and they just make it quick and easy. So yeah, ARS. And Min actually designed his team name around the abbreviation to an extent, a little bit. ARS is a nod, of course, to his favorite, European football team, Arsenal. Those of you who follow the Premier League know he is a massive Arsenal fan. Hopefully, for Min, they're gonna win the league this year. It looks like they might finally be locking it up, but ARS is their abbreviation there. So that's a nice little nod to his team name. But on top of that, he is a Vietnamese immigrant who has survived the Canadian cold for 18 years now. So as a real survivor of the Arctic, that is totally understandable. So that is Min and his new team name. Next, we are going to move down to my wonderful co-host, Ace. As you all know, he relocated this past fall, and he will be the manager of the Arizona Asphalt. The abbreviation for that team will be AZA. AZ, of course, for Arizona, its state code, and then A for asphalt. Ace gave a quick and clean description. Said Arizona Asphalt because my team is about to be as hot as the Arizona Asphalt. A bold declaration from Ace. We'll see how it pans out for him, Cotton. No, that's pretty awesome team name for Ace. And you will see I am a huge fan of alliteration. I love alliteration. So I'm a big fan of the Arizona Asphalt there, and Ace with his new team name. Moving on down to our third team. Is that Don Omar's song from the Fast and the Furious? I think it is, because our third team is the Bronx Bandoleros, managed by JMC. It's no surprise that JMC would name his team after the Bronx, would locate his team in the Bronx, I should say, as they are where his Yankees play. And Bandoleros is... or bandoleros, that's Spanish for like a bandit. BXB will be the abbreviation for this team. BX, of course, the, nickname for the Bronx, and then B for bandoleros there. JMC shared a little bit about this, saying about one half is sort of a shout out to, of course, his team and family in New York City. And the other nod is, the other part is a nod to his family's background in Puerto Rico and the reggaeton scene there. Plus, he said it's got a good flow to it, and I can't disagree with him. It has an awesome flow. So yeah, the Bronx Bandoleros are JMC's team. Moving down to our next one, we have Serial Chillers with the Cuyahoga Black Panthers. I had to spell that out, Cuyahoga, but I got it. I did it. I've been nervous about it. We got here. Serial Chillers will be managing the Cuyahoga Black Panthers, abbreviation CHG. Cuyahoga. I thought that was close enough. Cuyahoga, of course, that famous river that runs through Cleveland. As some people know, it's the song or the river that "Smoke on the Water" was written about, because there was a big oil spill there and the river was on fire. Fun little music fact there. But in terms of serial killer, it was the county he was born in, and he loves Black Panther. And hey, Black Panther's pretty awesome, and a good team name to go with his city name of Cuyahoga. Moving down to our next team, we have Big Peach. Big Peach will be managing the Fenton Melonheads, abbreviation FEN, of course, for Fenton there. Said he went back and forth a little bit on the location, but finally settled on where he lives now, of course, in Fenton. And Melonheads, of course, it pays homage to the backyard sports games, which, if you know Big Peach, you know he is crazy about those. He loves them. So that is an awesome one. He even, I will give a sneak preview, did show me a little logo he mocked up, and it looks awesome. Some people, I'm sure, I'll just, I guess, mention this now. If you want to introduce logos along with, totally feel free. Some people definitely will. Some people won't. If you are interested, in the next off season, you haven't done it, maybe we can sort of work together to put some together. But if you have one, I know a couple people already had logos put together. Definitely throw those up there. So yeah, Peach, I know, has the Fenton Melonheads logo all set to go, and maybe you'll see that one soon. Our next team, the sixth one, is managed by Hideki. This was, I think, the most out of left field name, but one of the most fun. We have the Joinville Friendly Capybaras, abbreviation JVL for Joinville. Joinville is the city he's been living in for the last 22 years, and apparently they have capybaras roaming all around parts of the city, which is hilarious and awesome and something I didn't know about. And now I kind of want to go visit Hideki and hang out with him and the capybaras. That sounds like a pretty good time. But yeah, so the Friendly Capybaras of Joinville will be Hideki's team. The next one is managed by Bose. This is a very fun little local spin. The North Pole Natty Bose will be managed, of course, by Bose Bros and O's. NPL for North Pole will be the abbreviation there. So this was a pretty fun story that Bose shared. I guess back in the day, the O's radio announcer had a catchphrase after a win. He would say, ain't the beer cold? Bose, his name is a reference to National Bohemian, which is the crappy local beer of Maryland. And what's colder than the North Pole? Especially now that Pete Alonso is an Oriole. That's another fun little nod. Love the Natty Bo reference. Love the Pete Alonso tie-in, and that is super cool to the old announcer. I was kind of digging around, and I found some of the old clips of him. So that's pretty awesome and a fun name. So the North Pole Natty Bows will now be Bo's name. Yeah, Natty Bo was a favorite of Maryland high schoolers Angarang. So I enjoyed that too, Bose. Don't worry. The next team is mine. It is Zhang. I will be rebranding my team to the Portland Pioneers. POR will be the abbreviation there, of course, for the city of Portland. As I mentioned, I love an alliterative name. I moved to Portland, Oregon this summer, so, kind of wanted to rep the new city and all that. And the Pioneers name was kind of twofold, or I guess threefold, I should say. First of all, like I said, I love alliteration. I feel like it rolls off the tongue really nicely. Second, I thought it tied in nicely with the state. Of course, with the the connections to Lewis and Clark and all of that. I thought that was kind of nice with Pioneers and everything. But then a fun little tie back to my my own life. In my high school job, I was a summer camp counselor, overnight camp. Like a YMCA camp, and so they had sort of quote unquote villages for the kids. So the oldest kids were the Frontiers, the middle kids were the Rangers, and then the youngest kids, which is the group I worked with and sort of ran the village for by the end of my time there, was the Pioneers. So just a fun little tie back to my one of my first jobs, and a name that I think works pretty well. Our ninth team is our second expansion team. It is KJ Lee's team. And this is a pretty cool in-depth one. This is the Sault Ste. Marie Locks, and that is LOCKS. Their abbreviation will be SSM for Sault Ste. Marie. So the big thing to know here is that they're the Sioux Locks in the city of Sault Ste. Marie. Locks are basically used for raising and lowering boats for water, like stretches of water in different levels. So they're the Sioux Locks in the city. So even kind of came up with a motto for the team name to be "Close the Gates." So obviously with all of that, and I would love for him to dive in a little bit more and tell us more about that. But of course, and I should have mentioned this, Sault Ste. Marie is in Michigan, where of course we know KJ is a pretty big Detroit sports fan, so that is local to him. Our 10th team is run by In10, and he will be managing the newly rebranded Seoul Sovereigns, abbreviation SEL for Seoul. As we all know, our good buddy In10 hails from Korea, and I think that is the inspiration for the city location. Didn't give me much information about the name Sovereigns, but it rolls off the tongue awesome, and I really like it. It feels very like, I don't know, I see like white and gold for the branding for it. I think it could be pretty cool. So obviously, sort of a nod to royalty and whatnot and all that. Pretty cool for In10 there. I can see a natural rivalry building between In10 and the next team, just based on their nicknames. Oki is now managing the Southwest Kansas Peasants. So, of course, we have the Sovereigns and the Peasants. Again, didn't get a lot of explanation from Oki here, but I believe, as best as I remember, he is from Kansas, I'm assuming, the Southwest, and Peasants, just kind of a fun name to throw in there. As we're here, like I love the mix of names. Some are kind of like, you could totally see that being a sports team name, like the Seoul Sovereigns. Some of them are kind of like clever and fun, like the Friendly Capybaras. Then some are kind of like, I just think these are a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying. So, obviously, thank you to everybody who took the time to come up with their names. Oki managing the Southwest Kansas Peasants, and that will be SWK, Southwest Kansas, obviously there. The 12th team, we're on to our 12th team. This is Prius's team, and it is the St. Petersburg Tropopologists, STP for St. Petersburg. Prius kept it pretty simple. He said, the players on my team know that the Trop is the best stadium in the league, and with the Trop coming back into play this year, we'll certainly hope that is the case for his squad. The St. Petersburg Tropopologists, as I said, will be Prius's team, and that is a pretty fun nickname for him. Of course, a race fan. The Valley Gift Lords, abbreviated VAL, is Al Martinet's new team. This is an ode to HBO's Silicon Valley. The main character was Burstam Guilfoyle, I think is how it's pronounced. I haven't actually watched the show before, but so it's sort of an ode to him. And then, of course, it's also an ode to the Valley, in the sort of Central Valley, in the Bay Area where Al Martinet's from. So kind of a two-tiered name there, which I think is a lot of fun. Valley Gift Lords. VAL for the abbreviation is Al Martinet's team. And our final one is the, no pun intended, biggest mic drop of the names. Mike Copeland, of course, is the manager of this team, and he is rebranding to the Washington State Winners. And I'll just read out exactly what he said. Quote, well, I won the league, and I'm from Washington State, not D.C. Mic drop. Those are the new team identities for all the teams in our league. I'm super excited. I think this will just be a lot of fun, especially for the podcast recaps, just kind of getting to use these names and having them all in there. By the time you are listening to this, the names actually will be changed on Fantrax, so you can go in and hopefully the background that everyone has kind of provided through this podcast just gives you a little extra understanding of where the team names come from and makes it even a little bit more fun. Like I said, I will be talking to you in, probably a couple weeks once the drafts have wrapped up along with Ace. And hopefully, we haven't totally confirmed this, but hopefully we'll have a string of some small form content also coming your way before the start of the season. That's about as much as I want to say before it is all confirmed. But until we see you next time, have a great one and see you soon.
You know what that makes you, Larry?
Lollygag.
Lollygag.